when really it was just an easy thing. It was just a quick So eventually I decided to take my sister's advice into account. I decided to let it sit because I couldn't get an appointment at an abortion clinic for 2 weeks, and as far as everyone else was telling me, they wouldn't give me the abortion day of. That was just going to be like a consultation, which turned out not to be true, but we'll get there. So in this 2 weeks, I'm sitting, I'm breathing, I'm feeling what I feel, I'm not saying no to any of it, I'm living my life. It just feels kind of shitty all around because I'm sick as fuck. And I'm learning a lot about me and what I want out of my relationships with people. And it was a very positive experience that felt really shitty at the time. So I ended up I had the abortion appointment, you know, and I left the decision to that day, to how I was feeling in the moment. I was gonna ask a lot of questions. They told me that I was gonna have to like see a therapist or a counselor or something before they would even do it. They told me that they were gonna do a bunch of stuff. None of that actually ended up happening. And this is where maybe I think is the most important part, is how the actual abortion went. And obviously this is a pandemic going on here, so I had to go in alone, which I was really afraid to do. But we get in there, I get in there, I sign in, they sign me in right away. I have to wait for a while, but they call me to the back. I have to answer all these questions. She's like, do you use condoms when you have sex? And I'm like, sometimes. And she's like, you really should wear condoms. And I'm like, I know I should use condoms, but I don't. So let's just move on to the next question. And it was just really awkward. Anyway, she's like, do you sell sex? And I'm like sweating. No, but it was just a weird experience with that lady. She had kind of a weird attitude and it kind of put me on edge. And this was the start of the appointment, so I was like, oh, I don't know about this. And then after that, I had to get an ultrasound, which was another very interesting experience where a lady non-sexually stuck something in my vagina. And I've never experienced that before besides like a tampon, which is just me. But I've never had a non-sexual vaginal experience with another human being. It was very interesting. And they had to do it vaginally because I wasn't pregnant enough to see it through my stomach. And she stuck like a camera type thing, knobby alien type looking machine, about 2 or 3 inches inside, and just kind of took pictures of the length of the yolk sac. It's like a yolk sac, it's like an egg sac, I don't know. It's like a blood sac, or like, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but it looks like a yolk sac, and I took a picture and everything. And before she did the ultrasound, she's asking me all these questions. She's like, do you want to hear the heartbeat? And I was like, yes. And then I'm thinking, do I want to hear the heartbeat? And then she says, do you want to know if it's twins? And I said, yes. And then I thought, do I want to know if it's twins? I don't know if that's a good idea, but my instinct was to answer yes, because I love knowledge and I love information. So she's doing this ultrasound. She can't even hear a heart, like she can't even find a heartbeat. I guess it's not hear, it's like detect. But she can't even detect a heartbeat in this thing. It's not even a little bit of a baby yet. It's just a mere seedling. It's just a little yolk sac. It's like barely even fertilized, you know? I'm super early. Basically, I'm just super early. And she takes a couple pictures, whatever. It just basically confirms that I'm pregnant. I had to take a pee test or something. I think for STDs actually. And then she's like, okay, you're good. The doctor's gonna come by and the nurse is gonna talk to you about what your medicine's gonna be like, and then you're gonna go ahead and take your medicine, and then you're gonna go home. And I found out that I was gonna have to take the first part of the medicinal abortion in the doctor's office, right in front of the doctor. And that was basically, the first pill basically stops your pregnancy from growing anymore, from growing any bigger. So when you take that pill, it's over. You're not getting that back. Sometimes it doesn't work, but it causes defects, so you kind of have to follow through. And it was scary to think about how I had to do it right then and there. Like, you gotta take this pill right in front of me, like as if I was a mental patient, not taking my, like hiding them under my tongue. And they're like, show me it, open up. And she starts talking to me, and this nurse has like a more upbeat attitude, but it's also still kind of intimidating. And, you know, I'm afraid of doctors, so I'm judging this the whole time, and I'm trying not to, but I was. And it was very early, so I don't blame them, but it was intimidating. And she's telling me all this stuff, and then she's like, so do you want birth control? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And then she's like, well, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. The only one I know of that isn't a pill is the IUD, and I don't want to take a pill because I'm not responsible enough for that. And she says, okay, well, if you do an IUD, you're gonna have to reschedule an appointment for like 2 weeks because we can't do that while you're pregnant. And I said, well, let me hear a bit about this Nexplanon. I've heard a little bit about that guy, the whole rod in the arm. And she says, oh, well, I mean, I have it. It's fine. It lasts this long, whatever, like 3 years or something. I don't know. And she's like, if you pick that, and I was like, let's do that. First I said, let's do that. I chose that one. And then she revealed to me that they were going to put it in that day. I wasn't even going to have to come back and suffer another doctor appointment in a pandemic. They were just going to stick it in me. So they do that. They told me it wasn't going to hurt, but it hurt a lot. And I had a major bruise forever. Oh my God, the bruise was huge. It looked like a little oat on my arm. Like, you know, those little, it was huge. It was a huge brown purpley mess. But now it's all healed up and it feels good. And I was really, all those lame excuses I had before about, you know, the moodiness and the weight gain and the acne and the hormones and whatever excuses, it doesn't even compare to the relief I feel that I don't have to worry about having a baby anymore. Oh my God, like, oh, it feels so good. And I definitely support birth control. Control those babies, man. Like, important stuff there. And then I took the pill. And then I took the first pill, and I sat down, and I thought it was gonna be really hard to do. But then she goes, all right, you ready? Where is it? And she had like trouble finding it because she's got a lot to do. And then she hands it to me, and she's like, yeah, go ahead and just take it. Just gulp it down. And I did. And then that was it. That was it. That was the decision. Decision made. I took the pill. And I don't know. I was kind of just nervous / excited at this point, on the edge of my seat, trying to get out of there. And they let me go home. They gave me everything I was gonna need, pregnancy tests for, you know, a month later to check if it worked. The other half of the abortion, which expels the pregnancy, and instructions and all that, and nausea medication and ibuprofen for the, you know, expelling of the pregnancy part, because that was the hardest part. And I went home about 24 hours later. I, you know, put the 4 pills. The second part of the abortion is 4 pills. I put it in the sides of my mouth and they dissolved. And like an hour and 40, maybe even 45 minutes later, I started bleeding. And luckily it came like when I was using the bathroom, so it was fine. But I did ruin a lot of pants and underwear because I bled so much more than I normally do on just a normal period, of course. But I was really early, like I was really early along in the pregnancy, so there wasn't a lot of like clots and stuff passing. It was mostly just regular old blood, some clotting. It wasn't anything to get worried about. They tell you everything to look out for to make sure you're not infected, but it wasn't anything to worry about. You know, I couldn't have sex for a week, whatever. The birth control worked right away, however, which I thought was really cool. And basically I just felt super relieved, and I took these pills feeling super relieved. The bleeding starts, the cramping starts, my guy is there waiting on my beck and call. He's awesome, who is a trooper. You know, I had my heating pad, I had my little massagey bear, you know. I was really trucking through it. It took a really long time to feel better. It took like a week and a half, you know. It took like, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 5 days of bleeding to actually get rid of all of it. And then it took another 3 or 4 or 5 days to stop feeling sick and to normalize out with how, you know, how my body was getting like I had a really acute sense of smell and taste while I was pregnant, and I still was kind of a little bit disgusted by certain smells, but it was getting better. Since I've had time to heal, I think I didn't take it easy enough after the abortion. You definitely have to chill out. They tell you to do it like on your day off or whatever, and they tell you to take it easy the next couple of days, and they really mean it, because I kind of started going hard, and I like bought a guinea pig the day after I like started bleeding, and I was just excited. I was just so stoked. I honestly, like, I felt so much relief, and I didn't know I was gonna feel that way. I was really afraid before I did it, and I tried learning more about what it was like, what people who had gotten abortions experienced, because I already had a bunch of mothers to talk to with unexpected pregnancies. It's wonderful and beautiful that we can have kids, and that they had their kids and they love them, and I want that one day. I know now that I want that one day. But I wish that there were more people talking about what this is like, because I feel really good, and they treat it like, they don't treat it like it's a normal medical procedure. They treat it like they're putting demons in your body, and like Satan is gonna overtake you and you're going to hell if you do this. But that's not the case, okay? I can tell you right now, I feel really good. I feel really positive. I feel like I can get so much more done because I don't feel sick, and I don't feel nervous and scared and thinking about all these what ifs all the time, and I just wasn't ready. And I know that I could have been. I know that I could have gotten my shit together for the sake of the baby. I know that I could have. But I'm really glad that I don't have to. I'm really glad that I just get to be a 21-year-old, and I'm really glad that if me and my boyfriend break up, we don't have to worry about splitting custody of something. And I'm glad that I'm not overcommitting myself because I don't have realistic expectations of it, which is something I do a lot. I'm glad that I just admitted to myself that this wasn't what I wanted, and this wasn't the right decision for me right now in this moment. But I did learn a lot about myself, and I'm glad I went through it. It was weird, and it was scary, and it was irresponsible, but I learned a lot, and I want to share what I learned with you so that you can make the decision right now to not go through it. If you're seeing this before you're pregnant, if you get to see this before you're pregnant and you're not on birth control, take it from me. Whatever shitty excuses you have, because I'll tell you right now, they're shitty. It doesn't matter. Those things don't matter. In the grand scheme of things, if you don't want a kid, get on birth control. It's so simple. It's so easy. It doesn't... There are lots of different options, so if you do have problems with one, you can try something else. It does suck that they don't have more options for dudes. If they had been working on it for as long as they've been working on women's birth control, they would have more options for dudes, but that's not the case. That was another vindictive reason I had to not have birth control, because men don't have to do it, so why do I? And they should just wear condoms if they don't want to have a baby. But it's your responsibility too. You have to be responsible for your own body. If they want to be responsible for their body, perfect, excellent, what a great guy, you should get with him. But if they don't, screw him. Be smart. It's really not that hard. It's actually super easy. They just stick it in you. They just stick it in your arm. It's so cool. It's like it takes like less than 5 minutes. It's amazing. It doesn't even take that long to heal. It hurt a little bit. I'll give it that. It hurt a lot while it was healing, but it doesn't even feel like anything now. It's awesome. If you see this after, when you are pregnant and you're thinking about whether or not you're going to follow through with whatever decision, I was torn. I didn't even know. Just sit with it. Just take a breath. Just be by yourself. Don't worry about what anyone's going to think. Don't worry about what anyone's going to say, because in the end of it all, this is your life. This is your child that you have to raise. This is a human being. Humans live like 90 years these days. This is a commitment, okay? And they might not be born in your compatible astrological sign. They might be assholes for a while. Yeah, that might be reflective of how you are. You're probably going to learn a lot. You're probably going to change a lot, and you might not also. Being a parent is hard. Being a parent is really scary. It's also beautiful and interesting. Just make sure that you're doing it when you're ready, when you want to. Just make sure that you're not gonna feel guilty no matter what you do. You know, don't be mad at yourself for ever getting pregnant. Don't be mad at yourself for not being strong enough to keep the pregnancy. I'm not mad at myself. I'm really actually proud of myself for being strong enough to do it, even though it was really scary. And I just want to tell you that whatever decision you make, if you're happy and if it makes you feel powerful and excited about life, then I'm happy for you, and that's an awesome decision. And I just want to make sure that there's information out there, information that's not biased. Abortion is neither good nor bad. It's just a medical procedure. The thing that's good or bad is doing it for the right reasons. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons, it's bad. It's gonna suck, no matter what it is. You have to make sure that your heart is in the right place, that you're working for yourself, not for others, not for your image. For yourself and for your fictional baby. It's not even a baby. It wasn't for me, at least. I also want to say, before we end things, I know this video is super duper long. I might even split it into 2 parts, but I want to say, if you can help it, if the dad's cool, if you actually care about the guy or the person that you created this life with, created this experience with, don't disregard their feelings on this. Men are just humans. This human was with me experiencing this, maybe not in the same way I was, but he was experiencing it, and it was going to affect him. And I think that that's important to consider. And it's important to consider how they affect you, and how it affecting them is going to affect you. It's not so simple. It's not as simple as the guy doesn't matter, his opinion doesn't matter. It's not like that, you know? If you've got a good guy, it's gonna be his kid too, and you have to consider it if you want to have a kid with that guy. You really do. And yeah, you should consider it before you get pregnant. But you didn't. It's okay. It's alright. It happens. And maybe you did. Maybe you were on birth control and you got pregnant. It happens. Don't beat yourself up about it. That's a big reason why people feel guilt after they do this, is because they feel bad that they ever had to do it. Don't feel bad, man. It's just another thing that happens in life. And if you did it for the right reasons, then I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you. And reach out and share your story. And if you feel bad about it, share that story. We need to know more about how actual women who actually went through this actually feel. Not necessarily doctors, not necessarily their family members or their significant others or their kids, but how actual women feel when they keep or don't keep their babies, when they go through an abortion or not. These experiences aren't talked about that much. I didn't have a lot of people to turn to ask them how it felt. And the type of person I am, I needed to know that. I'm grateful I was brave enough to experience it without having any knowledge on it. But if I can help other people get knowledge, if I can help other people feel a little bit calmer about it, I want to try and do that. So, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thanks. Hey guys, thanks again for watching. I'm sorry if any of this was offensive or weird or too personal. I had myself in mind when making these videos, so, you know, I wanted to have a reminder of this major kick in the ass, so take all this with a grain of salt. And please, please, please be kind and act with empathy, no matter the situation. Let me know what you think.